And we are live. So I am starting a little bit early so people can start rolling in and watching. So I'm just going to sit back a little bit and wait until 3 o'clock. So come on in, hang out, and we're going to do some talking today. And my tea is still too hot. So hello there, my name is Benjamin Krudwig, and I am from Benjamin Krudwig Fiber Arts and Design. You can find me at benjaminkrudwig.com. You can also find me as Benjamin Krudwig on Instagram and Ravelry and Twitter and Facebook. So if you want to find me, then you can either go into I think in the description of the video, all of my links are there. So you can find me there. And if you are already watching, if you want to ask any questions, I'm going to have you comment on them on the YouTube video. And then I can actually, okay, so I got a new computer and everything is a little bit different. So I, will be trying to figure stuff out. And it seems like the Google Hangout is a little bit different than it used to be. I used to have a Q&A area, and I don't see that anymore. So I only have the chat, and I have the comment tracker in my toolbox. So what we're going to do is, if you want to ask any questions, just ask them in the comments of the YouTube video. So please, do that. So it's 3 o'clock. I'm just gonna get going with a little bit of chit chat today. So we did not see each other last week. Last week, Friday, I just didn't really feel like podcasting because Saturday was my grandfather's funeral. And I just felt the need to just not do anything the day before. Very good idea that I did that because Saturday ended up being a very long day. So, I'll leave to talking a little bit about that later down the road because most people might only care about the fiber stuff. So I'm going to try and keep that towards the front of the podcast and everything else towards the end. I will be hosting a giveaway as well, so I'll talk about that at the end of the video. And what else? Oh, so work stuff. I had a pretty good 2 weeks at work. Last week was super, super busy. We had a price increase happen, and so everybody was calling, everybody. And so, we were just a little busy last week, and that kind of flooded over into Monday's work, which was okay. I like being busy. Busy is good, and busy is fun, and I'd rather be busy than not have anything to do. So that was great. This last Wednesday, I started management and supervisor training. So that's pretty interesting. A lot to cover, I think. It'll be a little intense for a while, is my guess. I have no experience with supervising people or managing people. And, I don't know if I ever will either, but I'm going to these meetings. There's going to be a lot on self-management and time management and managing the work itself. So I think that'll help quite a bit for me. So I'm excited about that. What am I drinking today? I am drinking from some lovely china that our friends got my wife and I for our wedding. It's beautiful, these red plates and gilded. Sorry, I think I heard my cat knocking something over, but that's okay. Whatever. And here's the teapot. I may or may not drink all of this by myself. I don't know. Maybe when I go pick up my wife, we'll have some tea. afterwards. So yeah, I'm drinking some Earl Grey creme. It's just a really delicious Earl Grey tea, plain black tea with the bergamot and et cetera, et cetera. All of this is from Tevana. So I know that or Tivana. I think I tried to make it sound fancier than it is. So yeah, this is really tasty tea. I'm really enjoying it. So let's move on. I didn't do much these last 2 weeks that I can show you. I am working on a couple of secret projects. I hate not being able to share stuff with you, but I want to make sure that I do this work justice. I can tell you what I'm doing. So one thing that I'm doing, I'm working on a project for the Yarn Over truck out in California. So I'm working on a design that'll be exclusive to them for a while, and I will post it on my Ravelry page. But they're going to be the only retail location that will be able to carry this pattern for a while, and I'm super excited about what's going on. I'm working with a beautiful custom dyed yarn for them, and it is gorgeous. So I can tell you what, I am not telling you much of what, and I'm not showing you. So you'll have to find out in a couple of weeks or a few weeks to really see anything. So that's happening. I'm also writing an article for a magazine, and that'll come out this fall. So you can see that this fall, and I'll tell you more about it as things get a little bit more solid. But I'm writing an article on spinning, so I'm really excited about that, and you'll see that coming up in a few months. It's already February. Oh my gosh, how did that happen? It's February 6th, I think, and it's Friday, which I love. I love that I didn't tell anybody. It's Friday, February 6th. So yeah, it's February, and this is episode 4 of the Fibercast. Welcome, in case you forgot what you were watching, because I forgot to mention it. So it's a little insane. Anyway, so I got derailed, so I didn't work on much besides those 2 projects. I can actually show you, I made another project bag, and with one of my woven pieces, and I really love this one. It's kind of like, I hand dyed the gray in there, or the kind of like the stripies that you see running this way. I hand dyed that, and the light gray, I hand dyed both of them, now that I look at it. So yeah, this is one of my project bags that I hand wove, and the secret project is in here. You can hear I think the stitch markers that are in there. That project is currently in timeout. There is a certain point where I realized, oh, there is I have too many stitches, and I need to rip out about 700 some odd stitches. I'm not happy about that. So it's okay, I'll do that and it'll be fine. But yeah, it's in timeout. So I decided to work on some other stuff. So I think, yeah, I'll show you the one project that I have in progress that I can show you. No, I have 2. I have 2 that I worked on. Great. Put that there. So you can see right over here, this is the cardigan I've been working on. Hopefully you can still hear me. So I finished the hood for the most part. I need to do some I-cord edging along the whole front of it. Here's the back of the cardigan. And I am so happy with this one. That one was also in timeout for a little while, and that's okay. But it's back on the needles, well, it's currently off the needles because I need to cast on or pick up the stitches for the sleeves. My guess is that it'll be about another month or so before I release the pattern for this. And I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out. Doing a lot of different techniques that I really enjoy, and hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult to put together, but it's seamless currently because it's raglan style. It was top down, and then I added the hood by doing a provisional cast on, and it's looking good. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna probably finish this one and then do another one just to make sure that everything is right, and then I need to size everything. So actually, if y'all could tell me what sizes would you like to see in a cardigan? Would you like to see extra small to extra large, or what? This is probably a medium, is my guess. Just from what I know of clothing. So yeah, that one is coming up pretty well, and I'll probably work on the sleeves this weekend. I have a few other projects that I'm working on that I want to get going on. So I'll have to probably take the secret project out of its timeout this weekend. Oh well. So the other thing I'm working on, so that was on my needles. What's on my hook of the pencil? I wrote a pattern in 2011, so 4 years ago now. It's a saguaro mitten pattern. You wouldn't know that by looking at the pattern itself. And I guess, I was a new designer at that time, but oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't format this at all, and it's terrible. So I'm redoing the pattern. I love updating things, so I'm finally updating this pattern. I'm probably going to do that with a lot of my older patterns and just try to make them look good. So in my little bag that my sister made for me for Christmas, I have some hand spun yarn. Let's see. So this new computer has a much better webcam, and these colors are great. So this is some hand spun yarn that I spun during Spinzilla last year, and I separated the ball into two 50-gram balls. So it was 100-gram before, and now it's 50 grams. I am making the mittens. It's a free pattern, so I'm gonna keep it free, but I'll probably have to just like redo everything. And I'm really liking how this is crocheting up. So I'll probably finish these this week. What actually stimulated this idea was on Wednesday, that manager's meeting that I was participating in. It was so cold. It was a concrete room with a steel ceiling, and oh my gosh, I should have brought a heavier coat or jacket or something, and I should have brought mittens because it was so cold in that room. So next time I'm going to have mittens that I can wear when it gets cold. Oh well. So I do have a couple of FOs. I'm very, very excited about these FOs. So this is my new hat pattern on Ravelry. It's called the Crown of the Forest. And I used, the yarn for this is Cascade Cloud. So it's their alpaca and wool blend. And it's a heavy worsted to a bulky weight yarn. It's kind of in between. This colorway is their pumpkin colorway. It's an orange. And you can see these little feathers and leaf patterns. that create this kind of crown shape. I'm on a rolly chair, if you can't tell, and I love it. So this pattern, it's not a free pattern. I apologize. I've redone this pattern about 3 or 4 times to just get it right. So it's $3.99 in my Ravelry. However, I forgot to mention this. I don't think it was going the last podcast, but I have a sale going on in my Ravelry shop that you can buy a pattern and get one for the same or lesser value for free. So, because I just wanted to say thank you for everybody being so positive and so helpful and so genuinely nice. These, just in this start of my podcasting career, and I feel like I'm really trying to blossom into the industry on my own. I've always kind of been here and I've had some success, but I'm really taking charge of it now and making it something that I'm really happy with. So that pattern is up. If you want to buy that and then you can get another one for free, go for it. Kathy Canuel, actually, hi Kathy. She has a podcast as well, and she has a vlog. And happy one, you want to call it a vlogiversary? Happy vlogiversary, Kathy. She bought the Tectonic hat pattern, which in the knit version, and she also bought the Tectonic cowl, the crocheted version. And she's doing, I believe, a what do you call that? I guess it's a crochet along. On her Instagram, she posted some yarn choices, and I told her that she should just choose all of the yarns for the Tectonic cowl. Oh, I have that too. One moment. Haha, okay. This is the Tectonic cowl. I like to wear it as a kerchief. So, yeah. Oh, I love this. I love this yarn. It's a sea cell yarn, and it's just so great. So she's working on a crochet along. So if you want to do that, head over to my Ravelry and check it out and have fun. It's so much fun. I love seeing everybody's projects that they're working on from my pattern. It's just such a good feeling to see, and it's kind of surreal feeling because it's something that I've had in my head for sometimes months and months. And then it starts to come to fruition with my project. And then I write the pattern, and I never expect really people to make the patterns. And then they do, and they're doing some beautiful work. So just, it's great. I love seeing that, and I love interacting with people who are working on those patterns. So yeah, that's one of the FOs. I keep getting derailed. I'm flexible. So I try to keep this pretty normal, and I try to keep it pretty structured, but I'm just going to do what I want to do. So I have a weaving finished object this week. And this is on the Shack Spindle blog. So it's blog www. No, wait. What is it? blog.shackspindle.com, I believe, is the actual URL. So this went up today. And this is a ruched table centerpiece. So this is made with the Zoom loom, which is the pin loom that Shack Spindle Company produces. And it's just 9 squares, and you alternate in each square which thread you pull to create the ruched, the gather, the cinched up piece. And it's so much fun. This yarn is from Neota Designs, which is a Colorado-based company. They have, I think they're in Estes Park. And so if any of you go to the Estes Park Wool Market, they're up there. So they hand dye beautiful yarn. This yarn is called Colorado Red, and it is made of 50% silk and 50% merino wool. So it's beautiful. It folds a little bit, but because the silk content is so high, I don't know, it stays pretty smooth. It almost looks like a beard for a second. But the silk also adds a little bit of a shine, which I really like. So if you want to make this project, pick up a Zoom Loom and go to blog.jackspindle.com, and you'll find the free tutorial over there on how to make that. So yeah, that was a fun one to make. I haven't woven in a while because I've been so busy knitting and so busy crocheting and spinning that I haven't woven. So I finally wove something. I finished another object. I cannot show you that object because it is part of the article that I'm writing, so sorry. And then, so the other stuff, I can't really show you much because I haven't spun anything recently. So that's kind of a bummer. But, more tea. I can't do all the things. So I try to do many of the things, as many of the things as I can. Anywho, lucky for you guys, between last podcast and this podcast, I got my January 2015 Spunky Eclectic Fiber Club Fiber. I am so excited. So this colorway is called Frostbite, and it is 4 ounces of Targhee sheep wool. And if you go to Ravelry, the Spunky Eclectic, there's a Spunky Eclectic Club group. There's a Spunky Eclectic group. And you can actually go to the January 2015 Fiber of the Month Club with spoilers, and you can see the yarns that people are spinning out of this. And you can see the inspiration photo behind it. So this month was inspired by a photo of an icy looking flower. Cool blues with black background offset pretty little violet petals. Winter's likely to give us a few cold weeks here in the Northeast, but we'll be able to keep warm with this little beauty. The fiber I chose for this is Targhee. It's so fluffy and warm for our cold winters. Targhee wool is grown and processed in the US. It's a gorgeous, soft, fluffy breed. Perfect for next to skin wear. It's not great crimp, so beware of its great poofing ability. Here, so I like to rebraid mine. Oh, look at this. So it's really light blue, and there's some purple in here and some dark teal blue. It almost looks black, but that's a teal blue with a hint of, I think the color must have broken or she used some brown in there. I don't know, but it's gorgeous. So here's the braid unrolled a little bit. This is so beautiful. I'm so excited to get this on my wheel. In fact, I might just stop podcast now. Bye. I'm gonna go spin. No, not really. I'm gonna stay here. So I'm really excited to spin this. Yeah, pretty excited about all of that. So I think I want to announce this. I have plans for writing a book. It is going to be a knitwear book, or it's not just knitwear, but it's going to be a knitting book. And it's a themed knitting book. I'm not going to divulge any of that information right now. But I really want it to be a book that people want. And so I want you guys to maybe put in the comments or go to the Ravelry group and tell me. I'll put up a forum for this. When you buy a knitting book, what kind of patterns are you looking for? And what really speaks to you? Like, is it charts, or is it lots of photos? Is it diagrams? What is it that you really gravitate towards? Because I have a very clear vision, and I think I have about 16 or more patterns that are stewing in here and in my notebook. So, and I'll share some of those as time goes on, maybe, if I decide. Like, honestly, the very first pattern that I decided to work on, I thought, oh, this is going to be an easy one to really just knock out a rough draft. And nope. I think I have swatched about 4 different stitch patterns, and I'm not happy with any of them. So those are probably going to be different projects and different patterns. So I guess I'll probably share those with you over the next few months in my blog. So yeah, tell me what you want in the pattern book, and what is it that sets good pattern books apart from the less good pattern books. So I really want to know. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. So it doesn't look like people are over there, which is fine. I think that might be, now that I think about it, the group chat might not be for you guys. So I'm just going to go back to where people can comment on the video of YouTube, and then ask questions if they so choose. So yeah, I'm going to be writing a book. I'd like to have most of the patterns done by this winter, and then I have a photographer lined up already, somebody that I went to school with, and I really love her work. So if you actually want to, Camille Breslin, CamilleBreslin.com. Her work is stunning, and she's wonderful. She's a wonderful person. So I'm really excited to work with her if that still works out by that time. So I'm kind of out of things to show you, and I don't want to do the giveaway quite yet. Actually, I have something else to talk about. So I mentioned this briefly. I already spoke about this. So last Friday I didn't podcast because Saturday was my grandfather's funeral, and he I didn't feel like doing anything that Friday to really. I didn't like doing anything, to be honest. And I wasn't depressed. I just didn't feel it, and I didn't want to bum anybody out with a sad story or anything, because I'm feeling okay about his passing. He was 87, I think 87 years old, and he had cancer for about 2 years. And so it's like I had time to really process and grieve for a while. And then when it got closer, I started grieving again. And when it happened, I grieved for almost a third time. And I've lost 4 other family members in the last 10 years. So I'm not really a stranger to people that I love dying. But every single time it's very, very different. So this time it was a little bit more different because my grandfather is really the person, or one of the very important people in my life who got me going in a creative realm. He was a watercolorist and an oil painter and a playwright and a book writer and author. And he really always facilitated so much creativity in everybody in my family. This is the grandfather on my mother's side of the family. And my mother's side of the family is extremely creative. Everybody is a painter or a photographer or an artist of some sort. I happen to be a fiber artist, which is great. And I've written poetry from time to time, and I've painted here and there. And I'm a photographer by not trade, by degree. Got my degree in photography. One of my degrees in photography. So he has always been there. It's almost always like this little artists club when we would go down to my grandparents' house and talk about art, and talk about philosophy, and talk about, you know, what it means to be an artist and what it means to be alive. So that's something that always really felt good to me. So, you know, I just wanted to share a little bit about him. And something that my family, my mother and my aunt found in my grandfather's studio. So this is one of his paintings. And that little chap is me. So this was done from a photo. It actually might have been done in plein air, where he did this actually in person. This was a trip that we took. I don't remember where, but I was in a field of wildflowers and running around. I must have been 3 or 4, is my guess. But something that I always loved about my grandfather is he didn't care about perfection. He cared about that something was right and not perfect. Like, I don't mean perfect. I mean the feeling that you get when it's time to stop a project. You're like, that is right. I'm done. I'm done with that piece. So one thing is that he never erased his pencil marks. So you can really see there's still the stripes in my shirt. He used a pencil, and the eye and the nose and the head, everything is outlined in pencil. So he really, I love that about art. So yeah, I really wanted to mention him because he has kept me going over the years. He's always kept my creative juices flowing, and you know, it was very easy for me to assume that I needed to go into a career that was lucrative and that had money potential and that I could support my family on. And I did feel that pressure for a long time. And so, you know, I got a degree in science and I loved it. I did love the degree. I didn't say, like, I don't think I loved the career, but I loved going to school for it. And he was definitely one of those voices in my head when I was thinking, you know, I need to get an art degree as well at the same time as getting my science degree. So I got it and I don't regret it, you know, because he never got a degree and he just is an artist. And I don't mean like just an artist, but that's what he did. He taught classes, he painted, he just did everything as an artist, and he lived life as an artist. I saw the beauty in every single thing. So he's really the person, one of the people who has kept me going in art, you know, and I do have a job in the fiber arts, which is great, but it was a total fluke that happened, that I can actually work and provide for myself and my wife, and we can do these things, and I'm working in the field that I love, but then I'm also doing the art part of it. I'm knitting and I'm crocheting and I'm spinning and I'm weaving all these beautiful things, and that's my art, and he's always been supportive of that sort of thing. So, you know, I'm gonna miss him so much. You know, and I haven't posted much about it, and I haven't blogged about it until now, and it's really because it's hard. It's very, very hard to kind of admit it, to admit that he's gone. and the fact that that force is not going to be there in summers when our family gets together. But he lives on in his art and in his legacy of his encouragement. You know, that's going to be what keeps me moving on, you know. So I really wanted to mention that. So I don't see any questions yet. And I'm a little concerned that people can't actually comment on the video. So let's see. If anybody has any questions at this point about anything, literally you can ask me anything and I will answer that question for you. Also, if you, oh, so I can see the Google Plus. So this is U Creek Cottage. Hi, hello there. So she asks, I was wondering though, if you have a degree in photography, why do you want to hire someone to photograph your future book instead of doing it yourself? So that's a very good question. I am a photographer. I do much of the photography for work at Shack's Spindle Company. The reason I don't want to photograph my own book is because I don't have the same eye for this book, for the photography, as I do for the patterns. And I think the style of photography that I want for the book is not my style of photography that I can take or that I'm used to taking. So I also kind of want to divorce myself from the persona of being the photographer. And I don't want to micromanage the whole process for a couple of reasons. Doing the patterns and making the actual projects is going to be exhausting first and foremost. And then doing the styling and the photography myself, I think that would just be too much for me to really handle and take on. So I really want to do the book justice, and I don't want to I don't want to burn myself out on this project. So that's why I don't want to do the photography. I would love to work with my friend who, she's such a great photographer. She's a great force of inspiration. You know, I went to art school with her and she is fantastic. I really think that she has such a great eye for everything. So I'm just going to let her take the photography. Oh, so your name is Renee. Hi, Renee. Howdy. Okay, so yeah, and my grandfather does live on in my heart and memories. That is very, very true. I won't be forgetting him anytime soon. So yeah, so that's why I don't want to do any photography for my own book. I really want to focus on the patterns and the projects and get those really well done. I'll probably be doing the photography for like any of the close-up shots or the technique shots. I'll definitely be doing the photography for that because I think I'm more of a technical photographer. And for the book, I need more of an art photographer. And I'm very good at documentarian style photography, and I'm good at kind of stark photography. So maybe I'll try a few test shots, but I think I want to divorce myself from that kind of persona. So thanks for the question. I really Appreciate it. I will be doing the styling of it somewhat with myself or by myself. Oh, my brain. It's part of the photographer's job to make sure that the styling looks good on camera. And I think some people use a separate styler. So they have a photographer and they have a styler. I want these garments and these projects to be styled in a very specific way, and I'll probably be doing, like, I won't be the makeup artist, but I will have a major hand in the styling of the makeup because I do have that vision. The photographer is there to make that vision come to life for me. But I am a bit more of a control freak. So like I can let go of the photography part of it, but I can't let go of the styling part of it. So I won't. So yeah, that's that. Before I move on, for the people who are watching now, who didn't see the very first few minutes of me being here, you can find me on all of my social media stuff in the comment or in the doobly-doo description box. There we go, of this video. So you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Twitter. I'm on Tumblr. It's not that active for fiber community. It's much more active on Instagram and Ravelry. You can find me there, and you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Google+. I am not all that active on Google+, so I post my videos there and such. And also, I am almost at 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you to everybody who has subscribed recently at all, and who didn't subscribe so recently, who have been here for years. It's so exciting, so thank you. Thank you so much. So things I've been doing besides knitting. So Sunday, I spent literally all day knitting. I was so burnt out from Saturday. The drive down, so we drove down to my grandfather's funeral Friday night, got in around 9:30 or 10, woke up the next morning at 7:30, and from 7:30 on, we were going. His funeral was 2.5 hours long. There were a lot of people there to talk about him, and just the love that everybody was supporting or showing was so great. So that was really nice, but 2.5 hours is a very long time. And it's a very exhausting time to be at any funeral, but a funeral that's 2.5 hours long is also exhausting. Then there was a reception afterwards. That was about another 1.5 hours. And then we went to dinner immediately after that. And then my wife and I drove from Canyon City, which is down in southern Colorado, back to Boulder that night. And first 2 hours of the drive were fine. And then we hit, so I'm going to mention highways. Most of you, it's not going to make any sense. So from I-25 to US 36, I saw some flurries, a few flurries of snow. It was fine. About 5 minutes down Highway 36, it became blizzard conditions. And on a normal night, it takes us about 25 minutes to get from Westminster to Boulder. It took us about 45 minutes to an hour to get home because the snow was so bad. So we didn't get home in bed until about 10:45, 11 p.m. and it was so exhausting. So the next day on Sunday, I opened up my computer and I put on a whole bunch of podcasts and just watched them all day long while I knit. So podcasts I've been watching. Holy crap, I love them all. You already know that I watch the Bakery Bears podcast, so I watched them. I don't think Come Knit With Us, they didn't have a podcast last week because I think it's Kim's dog was having some issues and some car troubles for Kim. So I totally understand. Oh my gosh. So I'm totally thinking of you, and y'all are so sweet. So I didn't watch any Come Knit With Us. So who I did watch, Molly from A Homespun House has a wonderful podcast. She is in Berlin. She's American, but she moved to Berlin. And oh my God, I love your podcast. You are just so great. And I love just your style and your personality. And I just want to, like, I'm going to virtually cheers you. Ding! Thanks for drinking tea out of classy tea accoutrement. It just makes me happy every time I see a different teacup of yours. I also like my wife. I don't know if she hates it or doesn't care about it, but my family, my mom's side of the family, of course, we're big junkers, so we go to antique stores quite a bit. And I have bought teacups because I like them. And then it's like, they just sit there on the shelf because I feel bad for using them. I'm like, oh, they're so pretty, I can't use them. So anyways, kudos to you, Molly, for actually using the ones that you buy. So I also watched an episode of Yarngasm, and that was good. I'm gonna watch more just because the thing is, like, I don't have a lot of time to watch podcasts, but like when I do, I just kind of binge watch them. So I'll probably watch more episodes of Yarngasm. I also watched Sort of a Knitter. I watched his Josh Ricks, and I watched Eat, Sleep, Stitch. Eat, Sleep, Stitch. Yeah. Also another great podcast. So I really, really enjoyed that. That you got to spend time with your little fiber guru or your fiber mentor. So that was really great. I totally agree with Kimmy and Sam. I don't know if you have a microphone that you can use or something, but sometimes it's very hard to hear. And it's like, I know, Kim, I'm getting old. I'm old. No, I'm not old. I am 25 years old, so I have pretty good hearing. So it's just sometimes hard to hear. So, maybe as you work in the fiber arts, you might invest in a microphone or a better computer or something, and because your podcasts are so enjoyable and I love your style. So please, I want to hear you more. It's strange because I don't think I watched Bakery Bears. Now that I think about it, they didn't have a new one, but I watched one of their older ones. And then they had a delay, but they have a new one that went out today. So when I am done with this podcast, I am watching the new Bakery Bears podcast. I am watching the new Homespun House podcast. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Exciting news for y'all. So I am done with talking about podcasts, by the way. I'm so sorry. I'm so all over the place right now. I will be sewing project bags soon. I have found that I have a need for project bags, so I'm going to be making them, and I'm going to be getting some of my artwork printed into fabric, and I'll be sewing that up. And I'm going to teach my wife how to sew, and she's going to sew with me. So it's going to be great. We're going to have project bags probably in my Etsy shop for now. I have to pay some weird fees for my website's shop, and I really want to make sure that I can figure out how to use that properly before I put, like real items in there. So I'll put, I'll probably post the announcements of that in my Instagram. I love Instagram, and it's such a great way to get information out visually. So check there probably in the next couple of weeks for some project bags. I'm really excited to make them, and I have some great ideas for them. So I think I have about 15 minutes left for this one. I'm not going to do a super long one today because not many people are asking questions, and that's usually what takes a little bit of time are the questions. So the giveaway, I wanted to spur some conversation in my Ravelry group. So I have a Ravelry group over on Ravelry. It's Benjamin Krudwig Fiber Arts and Design. And so you can really find everything there. It's not just for my podcast. It's for any pattern releases, finished objects, in progress. So I want to see what you all are working on. I want to know whatever it is, knitting, crochet, sewing, weaving, spinning. I want to see, so not what you're working on, sorry. I want to see what you have finished. So I want these to be things that have been finished in the month of February. So starting on February 1st, all the way to February 28th. I want this to be finished object February. The finished object February. So anything that you finish this month, please post in the, I'm gonna do it right now. Oh my gosh, because this is live, I can do this and it's awesome. So in my group, start a topic. Finished object February giveaway. So I want you to post any finished object from the month of February into this thread. And I'm probably gonna shoot myself for saying this, but do one post per project. And again, these need to be finished in February. So I want you guys to like get stuff out there this February. So if you finish more objects this February, you have more entries per se. And then I'll randomly select. I'll use the random number generator that everybody uses. For an entry. I'll add more rules in just a little bit because I don't want to like bore you with my typing, and it's probably loud. I haven't actually tested the mic on this one yet, this new computer. I just got it yesterday, so I'm very new to this. Anyway, if you want to know what the prize is, oh, I'm so excited. But first, okay. Renee has said something else, and I need to look at it because otherwise it's going to drive me nuts. No, cancel. I'm doing real good. The beautiful blue fiber. Oh. Renee, I actually can't tell you how I'm going to be spinning that because I'm going to use it in my article. I'm sorry. So you'll have to find the issue of the magazine that will be hosting this article, which I will tell you about in a later episode. So I'm going to be spinning it in a very special preparation. I'm really excited about it, so check back later. Okay, so the prize for this giveaway, and I'll close the giveaway March 1st. So it'll be open until midnight February 28th. And then I'll do a drawing March 1st, or I'll just close it March 1st. And then whenever the next podcast is after that, let's see, do I have a calendar? I do. So that would be taking a long time to open. The Friday, it will be, oh, because February is a perfect month this year, it will be March 6th. I will announce the winner of the giveaway. Okay. So the winner of the giveaway will get 4 ounces of super fine, so this is not super wash, this is super fine merino wool. I hand dyed this. This is the colorway New England Tide. It's a bunch of, okay, so this is actually, this camera's great. This is color accurate for the most part. It's a little bit darker on the screen. So this fiber, if I can undo the right end, has a lot of cool blues in it, and some greens, and some gray. I pulled out the wrong end. I don't know how I ever... What? I'm not actually sure what I did here. There we go. Figured it out. So I'm undoing the braid so you can really see all of the colors. So you get these light blues and light greens and grays, and then you get into some of the darker blues that are almost purple. But this is wonderful. It's a delight to spin. I have spun up 1 braid of this that didn't make it to the shop. And it was so nice to spin. This merino is super, super soft. So I'll probably dye more later on down the year. But let me show you. All of those colors really mute out in the yarn. So I have a sample here that I kept. Boy, okay, so you can really see, so this is a 2-ply. It's approximately a fingering weight, maybe a little bit larger than a sock weight, maybe not. And I really like the colors that really, I don't know, they soften. And I think I was working on, I did a knitted blank for it. And by blank, I mean with the yarn that I spun with the fiber. So it wasn't like a knitted blank of white. And the way that the color pools is so stunning. It's not really pooling so much as it's striping when you spin it. So it's variegated. It's very, very, very variegated. Very variegated. Say that 5 times fast. So you don't get a lot of striping. It's not like my other colorway of hand-dyed fiber, Ghost Ranch. That one is meant to be self-striping. Especially if you split the braid in half and do a 2-ply with it, then you can get some uneven stripes. If you do a Navajo ply with the Ghost Ranch, it'll, oh my god, the striping effect is stunning. So yeah, that'll be the prize, and I will send it out to a lucky winner. And there's another comment. See, Renee is just keeping me going. I love it. Thank you. I really like that color. So I dyed both of those colorways based on trips that I took. One to Boston which was actually way back when I was a junior becoming a senior in no, was sophomore becoming a junior, and I was looking at going to Boston College out there. So I went out there to visit my aunt and uncle who live in Boston, and we went to the beach. It was the first time I had seen the Atlantic Ocean, and I love the blue-gray, steely water. It's so gorgeous out there. So I did that colorway for the New England Tide, and then the Ghost Ranch was inspired by the honeymoon that my wife and I took to New Mexico, and we got to see photographs of Ghost Ranch when we went to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, and so the colors are just like the painted cliffs or the painted hills of New Mexico. So I really like that one. I'm gonna drink more tea. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I want to say thank you, Renee, for keeping it moving here. And I hope that you all come back next Friday for Fibercast episode 5. And hopefully I can figure out this Google Plus thing a little bit more, like refigure it out, because it just seems like something is funky with it. And if you want to participate in Finished Object February, please go to that forum that I'm going to post very soon. And no chatter. Please don't do any chatter in that thread. If you really like something that somebody made, put it in another thread in my group. So there's another Finished Object forum, and that's just people can post there what they've finished anytime they want. So if you want to double post, I'm okay with that. And then you can chatter in the Finished Object thread, but not in the Finished Object February thread. Don't chatter there, please. It makes it very hard to do the random number generator. So do that all the way through February 1st, which was a few days ago, to February 28th. I will close it midnight, February 28th. And I will do a drawing on March 6th for the hand-dyed fiber. Again, you can find me, Benjamin Krudwig, at my website, www.benjaminkrudwig.com. You can find me in all of the social media places in the description box below. And if you liked this podcast, and if you like the crochet tutorials that I do on this channel, please hit subscribe, thumb up any video that you like. It helps us. I consider myself a little bit of a YouTuber. It helps us if people actually, if they like something, give it a thumbs up. So please go ahead and do that. And if you really like this video, share it with your friends, and I'd love to have them come in the next time, and I'd like to chat with them and make our knitting circle bigger, or crochet circle, or spinning circle, or weaving circle, or sewing circle. Everybody's welcome to join this. Oh, one thing before I go. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't mention this. The shirt that I'm wearing is my skull and cross hook shirt from my good friend Play and Hooky Designs, Liz. She is so clever, and I love this shirt. And I have a hoodie also. I have a little bit of a problem. So if you want to go show her love, she has a very, very, very active Facebook group, Play and Hooky Designs, and go say hi. Go say hi from Benjamin Krudwig's Fibercast. And she does crochet. Her patterns are fantastic. She's been doing a lot of really great textured work. So go say hi to her and make her day a little bit. So I will see you all later. Follow me on Instagram if you want more of me. And you have a great night.